Hey, it's me, Althazar, and welcome to another Magic Puzzle Quest video. In today's video, I get to spoil the first of two cards that I get to spoil for the upcoming set. So, let's get into it. This first card that I get to spoil is actually one of the most nostalgic cards for me from Paper Magic. I really like this card. I really like the set as a whole. I like Lorwyn. Lorwyn's very cool. If you haven't heard, then you probably haven't seen some of the other spoiler videos yet, but the next set coming to Puzzle Quest is going to be Lorwyn. I'm personally really grateful for this because I don't actually like any of the mashup things like Spider-Man and Final Fantasy and Doctor Who and all that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know. I kind of just want magic to be magic, and at least for me, I'm grateful that that's not how it's represented in Puzzle Quest. I actually really like this idea of going back to older sets. So Lorwyn's a really cool set because it's a tribal set. It's a set that's all about these different tribes like the tree folk and the merfolk and the goblins and all that goodness. And so I'm really excited to see what comes from this set. Now, this first card, Doran the Siege Tower, in paper, is a black, green, white card. It's a legendary creature. Way back in the day, this was one of the original, really good commanders for EDH. And so I really wanted to build a deck on it. I just never had Doran, and so I wound up making a Rafika the Many deck. But I had a friend who made a Doran deck, and it was just really fun to play this sort of knights versus trees matchup, where there were all of these big beefy trees that then all of a sudden would become really strong as well. So in paper, Doran made it so that each creature assigned combat damage equal to its toughness as opposed to its power, which meant that you could just run a bunch of really high toughness creatures and then have them murk on your opponent. In Puzzle Quest, we're going to get something a little bit different. Our Puzzle Quest version of Doran is going to be a 12 mana, still white, black, and green. It's still a 0/5, it's got reach, it's a legendary creature, and has, at the beginning of your turn, all of your tree folk creatures get a permanent +0/7 buff and reach. So this is a stacking buff. This isn't a one-time buff where you just get it until end of turn. It's a stacking buff, meaning that every turn their toughness is going to get greater and greater, which also means that as they're blocking things, especially Doran having reach, which is going to be trying to block the world, is going to just continually make itself more and more likely to survive the blocks. Furthermore, whenever a tree folk is dealt damage, that creature gets a permanent stacking +7/+0 and trample buff. Now when I say stacking, I don't mean that it first gets +0/+7 and then +0/+14 and so on and so forth. It's more that you get +0/+7, but then you can get another +0/+7 to get a total of +0/+14 for the two buffs. Similarly, for the attack buff, that's also stacking in that same sense where whenever any of the tree folk are dealt damage, they're going to get +7/+0. And then if you, say, get 5 different instances of damage hitting those tree folk and they survive, then they're going to be getting 5 of those instances of +7 for +35/+0. This, to me, at least, screams for all sorts of silly shenanigan fun goodness, where you just ping the whole board for very small amounts of damage every single turn, if you can. And so I really want to try and build this card here with a bunch of different effects that do that, and then just watch all of the trees get massive. Now, as we haven't seen that many spoilers for the set, I don't personally know of any other tree folk that have made their way into the upcoming set. I've only seen a few of the little spoilers, things that have been teased out by Main Loop and Gauze, and also by the web core themselves. And so I haven't seen that many of the cards yet. I've seen this one, I've seen the other one that I'm spoiling. But nonetheless, seeing Doran the Siege Tower and just how the effects are for this card makes me really excited for Lorwyn. The next card that I'm going to get to spoil makes me especially excited for Lorwyn because that card is awesome and has arguably my favorite Puzzle Quest mechanic on it. So I'm really excited to spoil that one for you guys too. But for Doran, I'm interested to hear what are some of the cards and planeswalkers that you guys think are going to pair really well with Doran. Right now, we don't really know too much on the tree folk side, so we're going to have to go more toward the what are different ways that we can ping Doran, but we know for sure that we're going to be getting some tree folk in the set if we're getting this. And I love how this just sort of ties into that whole tribal nature of Lorwyn as well, just because with Lorwyn, you want to get all these different creatures down of the same tribe, you're building these tribal decks, And at least with this card, you look at this card and it absolutely screams get as many tree folk down as you can, because this is going to be continually buffing all of your tree folk, which once again, I think is really, really cool. So I love the idea for this set. I love the card. I'd love to hear what some of you guys would build for this card as well. Your guys' involvement in these videos, be it commenting about what you think is cool or anything like that, leaving likes, etc. That actually helps me get to keep doing these kinds of videos. So I don't actually like asking for like likes and comments, and don't do that if you do not feel inclined. But just if you like the spoilers and you want to chat about Doran, feel free to do so in my Discord. There's a link in the description, or feel free to chat in the comments here about it, because I think this is a really cool card. I love all the cards I've seen this spoiler season. This is, I think, how a spoiler season should go, as opposed to a bunch of mediocre cards, a bunch of really, really cool cards. So I'm really excited about this. I hope you guys are too. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you in the next one. Another really cool card.